Hare Krishna. Thank you, Ritesh Prabhu, Vishwanath Prabhu. Start with Mangalachala. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana-shalakaya Chakshurunmilitamena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Namah Vishnupadaya Krishnaprestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminate Namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pacharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatadeshatarine. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Come quickly and do our prayers. I posted the link in the chat. So share the screen. Okay, so we will continue with our wonderful prayers from Srimukundamala Stotra by Kulashekara Alvar. We'll continue with verses 21 to 30 this week. Amna आम्नायाभ्यसन्नान्यरण्यरुदितं वेदव्रतान् अन्वहम् मेदश्चेदफलानि पूर्तविदयः सर्वं हुतं भस्मनि तीर्थानाम् अवगाहनानि च गज स्नानं विना यत्प्रदा द्वन्द्वाम्बोरुहसंश्रितं विजयते देवः स नारायणः मदनपरीहर स्थितं मदीये मनसि मुकुन्द पदारविन्दधाम्नि हरनयन कृशानुना कृशोऽसि स्मरसि न चक्र पराक्रमं मुरारेः नाथे धातरि भोगि भोगशयने नारायणे माधवे देवे देवकी नन्दने सुरवरे चक्रायुधे शान्विनी लीलाशेषजगत्प्रपञ्चजठरे विश्वेश्वरे श्रीधरे गोविन्दे गुरुचित्तवृत्तिमचलम् अन्यैस्तु किं वर्तनै माद्राक्षं क्षिणपुण्यान् क्षणमपि भवतो भक्तिहीनान् पदाब्जे मा श्रौषं श्राव्यबन्धं तव चरितमपा स्यान्यद् आख्यानजातं मा स्मार्षं माधव त्वाम् अपि भुवनपते चेतसा पानुवानान् मा भुवं त्वत्सपर्य व्यतिकररहितो जन्म जन्मान्तरेऽपि मज्जन्मनः फलमिदं मधुकैतभारे मत्प्रार्थनीयमदनुग्रह एष एव त्वद्भृत्य परिचारकभृत्य भृत्यस्य भृत्य इति मां स्मर लोकनाथ तत्त्वं ब्रुवाणानि परं परष्टान् मधु क्षरन्तीव मुदा वहानि प्रवर्तय प्राञ्जलिरस्मजीवे नामानि नारायण गोचराणि नमामि नारायणपादपङ्कजं करोमि नारायणपूजनं सदा वदामि नारायणनाम निर्मलं स्मरामि नारायणतत्त्वमव्ययम् श्रीनाथ नारायण वासुदेव श्रीकृष्ण भक्त प्रिय चक्रपाणे श्रीपद्मनाभाच्युतकैतभारे श्रीराम पद्माक्ष हरे मुरारे अनंत मुकुंद कृष्ण गोविंद दामोदर माधवेति वक्तुं समर्थो विनवक्ति कश्चित् अहो जनानां व्यसनाभिमुख्यम् भक्तापाय भुजङ्गगरुडमनीश त्रैलोक्यरक्षामणिर् गोपीलोचनचाटकाम्बुधमणिः सौन्दर्यमुद्रमणिः यः कान्तमणिरुक्मिणी घनकुच द्वन्द्वैकभूषामणिः श्रेयो देवशिखामणिर्दिशतु नो गोपालचूडामणि श्री मुकुंदमाला स्तोत्र की जय Kulashikra की जय Srila Prabhupada की जय. Okay, we will read the translations for 21 to 30. Anybody would like to take up that service today?
I can do that, Prabhuji.
Yes, please go ahead, Meena Mataji.
All glories to Lord Narayana. Without remembrance of his lotus feet, recitation of scripture is merely crying in the wilderness. Regular observance of severe vows enjoined in the Vedas is no more than a way to lose weight. Execution of prescribed pious duties is like pouring oblations onto ashes, and bathing at various holy sites is no better than an elephant's bath. O Cupid, abandon your residence in my mind, which is now the home of Lord Mukunda's lotus feet. You have already been incinerated by Lord Shiva's fiery glance, so why have you forgotten the power of Lord Murari's disc? Think only of your master and sustainer, the Supreme Lord, who is known as Narayana and Madhava, and who lies on the body of serpent Ananta. He is the darling son of Devki, the hero of the demigods, and the lord of the cows, and he holds a conch shell and a bow saranga. Uh, he is the husband of the goddess of fortune, the control of all the universes, which he manifests from his abdomen as a pastime. What will you gain by thinking of anything else? Oh, Madhava, please do not let me even glance at those whose pious credits are so depleted that they have no devotion for your lotus feet. Please do not let me be distracted from listening to the worthy narrations of your pastimes and become interested in other topics. Please, O Lord of the universe, let me pay no attention to those who avoid thinking of you. Let me never be unable to serve you in some menial way, birth after birth. O enemy of Madhu and Kaitaba, O Lord of the universe, the perfection of my life and the most cherished mercy, you could show me would be for you to consider me the servant of 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 your servant. My dear tongue, I stand before you with joint palms and beg you to recite the names of Lord Narayana. These names describing the supreme absolute truth, being great pleasure as if exuding honey. At every moment, I bow down to the lotus feet of Narayana. I perform worship to Narayana. I recite the pure name of Narayana and I reflect on the infallible truth of Narayana. O Srinath, Narayana, Vasudeva, Divine Krishna, O kind friend of your devotees, O Chakrapani, Padmanabha, Achyuta, Ketabhari, Rama, Padmaksha, Hari, Murari, O Ananta, Vaikuntha, Mukunda, Krishna, Govinda, Damodara, Madhva. Although all people can address you, still they remain silent. Just see how eager they are for their own peril. He's the jewel riding on the back of Garuda, who carries away the Lord's devotees on his wings. He's the magic jewel protecting the three worlds, the jewel like cloud attracting the Chataka bird eyes of the gopis, and the jewel among all who gesture gracefully. He's the only jewel ornament on the ample breast of Queen Rukmani, who is herself the jewel of beloved consorts. May that crown jewel of all gods, the best of the cowherds, grant us the supreme benediction. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Meena Mataji. Hare Krishna. Yes. Again, so many things that we can learn from these verses. But yeah, one thing that strikes us again, how many times Kulishekar Alvar says, just consider me as a servant of the 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 servant, right? So that should be the mood that we are surrendered to our guru, and then he is surrendered to his guru and his guru and his guru, right? So we are in that Guru Parampara, disciplic succession, that we are respecting all our predecessor acharyas and not directly jumping to serve the Lord. No, we should be always in the mood to serve our Guru Parampara, which will eventually lead us to the Lord, and that is the proper etiquette and proper mood of a Vaishnava. And also he was mentioning how he doesn't want to see anybody who was not devoted to the lotus feet of the Lord, right? Let me not for a moment distract my attention by looking at somebody who's not devoted unto your lotus feet. And we see again, like we say, that for Vaishnavas, it is like Lavamatra Sadhu Sangha Sarva Siddhi Hoy. Just by 1/14th of a second, if we look at the pure devotee, a Mahabhagavat, Shuddha Vaishnava of the Lord, we can get all perfection of life, and that which cannot be attained even by bathing in the Ganga. People, just for the sake of, just today, a couple of days ago, we were watching a short video by Bhakti Today, how they were talking about how all the holy rivers are getting polluted, right? People just, when the Mahakumbh was there, everybody came, lakhs and crores of people came to take a dip in the holy rivers. But those same rivers, after the whole festival was finished, so much of pollution, so much of garbage, there was just unimaginable things there. So what kind of mood do people have, right? Just for externality, they want to, it's a Kumbh Mela, I have to go, everybody is going, I have to go, just go. But then you dump those same holy rivers with all kind of garbage, and what kind of devotion we have, right? So that shows. So same thing, I think Kulshekar Alvar is saying the same thing here, that yeah, people just for the sake of taking dip in the holy rivers, it is it is no good, right? That mood should really be to serve the devotees and be pure internally, because when we are pure internally, then even our externalities will be pure. So, and that purity of the heart can be developed only and only by serving in devotional service to the Lord, by doing the Shravana, by doing the Kirtanam, by chanting the holy names continuously. That should be the mood. Okay. So with that, we'll continue chapter 15 of Srila Prabhupada Lilamrit. Yesterday saw Harvey Cohen is the one who had met Srila Prabhupada at the meditation center of Dr. Mishra. He is now paying visits to Srila Prabhupada, and how Srila Prabhupada engaged him in the service of painting the Sankirtan picture of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his disciples. So with that, we will continue. Yes, anybody would like to read today?
I can read, Prabhuji, if nobody else is reading right now.
Yeah, please go ahead, Meenataji.
January 11, 1966. Prime Minister Lal Bahadur Shastri died of a heart attack while visiting Russia. The Prime Minister had been a personal acquaintance of Srila Prabhupada's in India and an admirer of his Srimad Bhagavatam translation. He had been scheduled to visit America, and Prabhupada had expected to obtain a personal sanction from him for the release of funds from India. His untimely death was a great upset in Srila Prabhupada's plan to purchase the building at 143 West 72nd Street. The realtors had shown him the building, and he had already mentally designed the interior for deity worship and distribution of prasadam. The money was to come from India, and the Prime Minister Shastri was to give personal sanction for release of the funds, but suddenly that was all changed. January 14, Prabhupada decided to write to the owner of the building, Mr. A. M. Hartman. He explained how his plans had been upset and he posed a new plan. Now the Prime Minister, Mr. Lal Bahadur Shastri, is suddenly dead, and I'm greatly perplexed. as there is now great difficulty for getting money from India. I'm requesting you to allow me to use the place for the International Institution for God Consciousness, at least for some time. The house is lying vacant for so many days without any issue, and I learned it that you are paying taxes, insurance, and other charges for the house, although you have no income from there. If you, however, allow this place for this public institution, you shall at least save the taxes and other charges which you are paying for now for nothing. If I can start the institution immediately, certainly I shall be able to get sympathy locally, and in that case, I may not be required to get money from India. I am also requesting that Your Honor become one of the directors of this public institution because you will give a place to start this institution. A.M. Hartman wasn't interested. On the same day he wrote Mr. Hartman, Prabhupada received a letter from Sri Padmapat Singhania, the director of the very large JK organization in India. Prabhupada had written Sri Padmapati ji for financial support, and his reply gave him hope. Not only was the Singhania family fabulously wealthy, but its members were devotees of Lord Krishna. My dear Swamiji, I had gone through your letter. I am very glad to note your idea of erecting a Sri Radha Krishna temple in New York. I think the proposal is a good one, but the following are the difficulties. 1. We have got to send foreign exchange for building the temple, for which government sanction is required. Without the government sanction, no money can be sent abroad. If the government of India agrees, then one can think of erecting the temple in New York. 2. I doubt whether with this small amount of rupees 7 lakh $110,000, a temple can be built in New York. I mean to carry out a nice construction with Indian type of architecture. To get temple completed in Indian type of architecture, we have to send a man from India. These are the two main difficulties. Otherwise, your idea is a very good one. Is very good. Srila Prabhupada and Mr. Sanghania had a basic disagreement. A magnificent Indian temple in New York would cost many millions of dollars to construct. Prabhupada knew, of course, that if Padmapat Singhania wanted, he could provide millions of dollars. But then how would he get so much money out of India? Prabhupada therefore again suggested that they spend only 7 lakhs. After purchasing the house, he wrote, we can build another story upon it with a temple dome, chakra, etc. Prabhupada had his own line of reasoning. Lord Dwarkadish exhibited his opulence at Dwarka with 16,000 queens, and it is understood that he built a palace for each and every queen. And the palaces were made with jewels and stones so that there were no necessity for artificial light in the palaces. So your conception of building a temple of Lord Krishna is an opulence. But we are residents of Vrindavan, and Vrindavan has no palaces like your Dwarka. Vrindavan is full of forests and cows on the banks of the Jamuna. And Lord Krishna in his childhood played the part of cowherd boy without any royal opulence, as you people, the inhabitants of Dwarka, are accustomed. So when the Dwarka Walas meet the Vrindavan Walas, there may be a via media. With Sir Padmavat's Dwarka like wealth and Srila Prabhupada's Vrindavan like devotion, Lord Krishna, the Lord of both Vrindavan and Dwarka, could be properly worshipped. January 21. He received Bond Maharaja's reply 2 weeks before. Prabhupada had written to his god brother, the director of the Institute of Oriental Philosophy in Vrindavan, that he had found a place for the temple in New York and that he wanted to install deities of Radha and Krishna. In his reply, Bond Maharaja quoted price estimates for 14-inch brass deities of Radha Krishna, but he also warned that to begin deity worship would be a heavy responsibility. Srila Prabhupada responded, I think that after the temple has started, some men, even from America, may be available, as I see they have at the Ramakrishna Mission, as well as in so many yoga societies. So I'm trying to open a temple here because Srila Prabhupada, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati, wanted it. Prabhupada also requested Bon Maharaj's assistance in getting the government to sanction release of the money he felt Padmapat Singhania would donate. He mentioned that he carried on an extensive personal correspondence with the Vice President of India, Dr. Radhakrishnan, who was also known to Bon Maharaja. Tell him that it is not an ordinary temple of worship, but an international institution for God consciousness based on the Srimad Bhagavatam. January 22nd. While Srila Prabhupada prayed to receive Radhakrishna in New York, a snowstorm hit the city. That morning, Srila Prabhupada, who had perhaps never before seen snow, woke and thought that somebody had whitewashed the side of the building next door. Not until he went outside did he discover that it was snow. The temperature was 10 degrees. The city went into a state of emergency, but Prabhupada continued his daily walks. Now he had to walk through heavy snow, only a thin dhoti beneath his overcoat, his head covered with his Swami hat. The main roads were cleared, but many sidewalks were covered with snow. Along the strip of park dividing Broadway, the gusting winds piled snowbanks to shoulder height and buried the benches. The Broadway kiosks, plastered with the layers of posters and notices, were now plastered with additional layers of snow and ice. But despite the weather, New Yorkers still walked their dogs, the pets now wearing raincoats and mackinaws. Such pampering by American dog owners left Prabhupada with a feeling of surprised amusement. As he approached West End Avenue, he found the doorman blowing whistles to signal taxis as usual, but also scattering salt to melt the ice and create safe sidewalks in front of the buildings. In Riverside Park, the benches, pathways, and trees were glazed with ice and gave off shimmering reflection of the sky. In the news, Selective Service officials announced the first substantial increase in the draft since the Korean War. A month-long peace ended with the U.S. Air Force bombing North Vietnam. The New York Transit strike ended after 3 weeks, and the transit labor leader died in jail of heart attack. January 30. The East Coast was hit by severe blizzards. 7 inches of snow fell on the city, with winds up to 50 miles an hour. The city of New York offered warm rooms and meals for people living in tenements without heat. JFK Airport was closed, as were train lines and roadways into the city. For the second time within the 8 days, a state of emergency was declared because of the snow. As a lone individual, Srila Prabhupada could not do anything about the snow emergency or the international warfare. He saw these as mere symptoms of the age of Kali. Always there would be misery in the material world, but if he could bring Radha and Krishna to a building in New York, nothing was impossible for the Supreme Lord. Even in the midst of Kali Yuga, a golden age could appear, and people could get relief. If Americans could take to Krishna consciousness, the whole world will follow. Seeing through the eyes of the scripture, Srila Prabhupada pushed on through the blizzard and pursued the thin trail for support of his Krishna consciousness mission. Prabhuji, should I go on?
Yeah, we can continue a little bit more.
February 4th, he wrote again to Tirtha Maharaj, who had agreed to try for the government sanction if he first received written confirmation from a responsible donor pledging the funds for a temple. Prabhupada informed him that the donor would be Sir Padmapat Singhania, and he enclosed Mrs. Singhania's favorable letter of the 14th. Prabhupada reminded his godbrother. Srila Prabhupada's Bhakti Siddhanta wanted such temples in foreign cities like New York, London, Tokyo, etc. And I had personal talks with him when I first met him in Ulta Danga in 1922. Now here is a chance for me to carry out his transcendental order. I am just seeking your favor and mercy in making this attempt successful. February 5th, discouragement came to the plans Srila Prabhupada had formed around the promise of support by Padmapat Singhania. The Dwarkawala wrote to express his dissatisfaction with the 72nd Street building. I'm afraid that I cannot agree with your suggestion that you should buy a small house and erect something on top of it. Unfortunately, such a kind of proposal will not suit me. The temple must be a small one, but it must be constructed properly. I quite agree that you cannot spend a lot of money at present, but within the amount that government may sanction, you should build something according to the architecture of Indian temples. Then only will we be able to create some impression on the American people. This is all I can write to you in this connection. I'm very grateful for for your taking the trouble of writing me.
Yeah, I think we'll pause here, Mataji.
Okay.
Thank you so much. Yes, wonderful reading, and I always love your reading. You keep us fully hooked onto onto each and every word and sentence. Yes.
Sorry.
Anything that you want to share, Mataji?
just the trials and tribulations that he's going through, one after the another. Snowstorm, Mr. Singhania backing out. His dreams are falling, but he's not being discouraged at all.
He's not falling.
He's not, yeah, he's not discouraged at all. He's like, he has a vision, and any obstruction that's coming his way, he's thinking as age of Kali, but he still thinks that a golden age can appear in the midst of the Kali, even if we are in the midst of the Kali. So that's what they say, "Dubte ko tinke ka sahara." Uh, like, he's always hopeful. He never gave up. So, and he remembered his clear instructions in Ulta Danga in 1922 from his master, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. And I remember Srila Bhakti Siddhanta, when he first saw Srila Prabhupada, he had two things to say. He likes to hear, "I have marked him." So those two words kind of, stand out right here, that how Guru knows who is going to do what, right? How does he see the potency of, or the potential of the student? And uh, I think that is amazing. I wish I was there, but I feel like I'm walking in the streets of the New York with him in that cold, wintry, stormy days, and I can feel the chills and the coldness at that time in New York City, and his amazement of looking at snow for the first time there. So I think it's a beautiful read. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Yes, wonderful, wonderful reflections. Yeah, if we can, if we can, yeah, just like walk behind him like that, and we'll be able to realize really like how much struggles he went through, right? So when we read this and we meditate on this, when we transport ourselves to those times, like we are probably with him. Who knows? In our previous lives, maybe we were one of the people who would have got his darshan, maybe while he was walking on the New York streets, and then we got born and came into this devotional life, this life. So who knows? But yes, everything that, like all the small things that has been described also. Yeah, how Srila Prabhupada is feeling amazement at people walking their dogs. We see that even today, right? When it's, again, this is New York. We're saying there's snow up to shoulder, right? Here in Cincinnati, we get only a few inches of snow, and still, I'm amazed, like when people are taking their dogs out for a walk. That is more important to people than waking up early and maybe chanting the holy names. That is not important, but taking their dogs out for a walk when it is snowing. I don't know what more to say, but yes, that's something that always amazes me as well. Anyway, anybody else? Any other thoughts?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu, Hare Krishna, everyone. I really like the Dwarka and Vrindavan Krishna's, not comparison, but the details what Prabhupada has put there was so beautiful. Like the most opulent Krishna in Vrindavan, where he has so many palaces, and the Krishna in Dwarika, and the Krishna in Vrindavan, he is so simple and there is no palaces, yet everyone is so naturally inclined towards bhakti and love Krishna so dearly. And so grateful to this Prabhupada's mission, where he has brought us close to Vrindavan, close to Krishna and Vrindavan. Before that, we, as in Hindu families, we love Krishna. Everybody has a natural attraction towards Krishna. But now knowing and going more deep, understanding Krishna in the mood of Vrindavan is so beautiful. That was something which was coming to my mind, Prabhu. Thank you.
Yeah, that was nice to see how, of course, electricity was invented a few hundred years ago, but how it was described that all the jewels there were the light in Dwarka, right? And Vrindavan, we don't even need anything because the jewel of the jewels is already there himself. So the moon is there, right? Like this is the rising moon of Nadia, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and the darkish bluish, blackish cloud is there in the sky. But yeah, so that is a natural light. And that jewel reminded me again, of course, we were reading of Kulashekara Alvar, who is a jewel himself, jewel of devotees, the Kaustubamani. And yesterday, actually, when I was at work, one funny incident happened. Funny or kind of not so funny, but there's this American singer called Jewel. Also, I forget her last name, but she back in 2017, 2018, I think they started this Kroger Wellness Festival. This actually Wellness Your Way is the name of the company. So she is kind of the founder and co-owner of that. She's a popular American music star. So since I work for Kroger, they do this annual festival, Kroger Wellness Festival, where they talk about just like our body, mind, and spirit convention that we attended. This is all about health, about body, about mind, about spirit, about wellness in general. So anyway, long story short, so she filed a lawsuit yesterday, and it was in the news on Kroger that Kroger stole the idea from her. So they didn't necessarily sign any formal agreement, but the plan was to have a 5-year contract. And 2018, 19, 20, I think Kroger did it. And then after pandemic, they kind of went their own way and they started something. So anyway, so this is 2022 is when I think the issue started. But now she's filing after 3 years just because Kroger CEO was moved out or taken out, and now she's filing lawsuit on Kroger. And so my boss sends this message as soon as I go to office, and then she says, "There's somebody in this article who we know." And then I click on that link, and then and then my picture is there, front and center, with the CEO, ex-CEO of Kroger. So this was 2022 when the Wellness Festival happened. And so my picture was taken with him. I was just volunteering there, and he came out of nowhere, and he kind of tugged my shoulder, and then he started talking to me, and then we were talking, and then I don't know when this picture was taken, but then this picture came in the article, and so everybody was telling me, so what happened? Why he left? He spoke with you? I said, yeah. See, this is the nature of this material world, right? It's the sorry state of affairs, So a jewel in this world can become a stone overnight, right? A worthless stone, right? So again, I credit everything to what Kroger has done over the last 10, 12 years that I've been with it. The stock price has zoomed, the business has done well, the company has been really great for the employees, associates. So all of that can be credited to that CEO. But again, I don't know what really happened, but in one night, his fortunes turned, like everything changed. He served the company for 40 plus years. He started as a bagger on the checkout lanes, and he retired as a CEO. But his fortunes changed in one day. So that is the jewel of this world, and it can become a stone overnight. But the real jewel of Dwarka and real jewel of Vrindavan is whom we should be turning our focus to. Anyway, so the jewel reminded me of that jewel singer. Okay. Anything else from anybody before we conclude? Wonderful. Okay, so we'll stop here for today. Conclude with Vaishnav Pranam prayers. Thank you all for your kind association. We'll see you again tomorrow. वाञ्छकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। अनंत कोटि वैष्णववृंद की जय। जगद्गुरु शिला प्रभुपाद की जय। शिला प्रभुपाद लीलामृत की जय। निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे। हरि हरि बोल। Hare Krishna, everybody.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Have a great day, everyone. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.